Man, what a week. Man, what a week, everybody. Hello, I'm TJ. This is Mayhem's Amigos. I'm the only one here. Still waiting to see if Chris is going to log in. Things going on. Uh, Rage is preparing for this big wrestling match that he's got coming up. Evidently, he's engrossed. Oh, I got a message from him too. Oh, let me see here. He says, "What time?" Now. Live now. Happy Mother's Day to all you moms out there that are listening. I hope it's been a good day for you and you have enjoyed your day and things have gone well. It's been rather a crazy couple of weeks back here and down here in the beautiful Southwest and what's going on here in Texas and everything. Just between work and getting yard cleanup done and everything going on. Um, it's been rather crazy. We've got a lot of things that are happening in a very short amount of time, and lately it's been rather difficult to even sit down and see straight because it bouncing between three different locations and trying to keep things up and take care of my personal career while taking care of a whole campus and just it's been crazy, everybody. It really has been. I'm watching I'm watching an entire location fall apart in front of my eyes, and I'm like stuck in a crossfire. Um, Literally, just I want to go there and just do my job and do my job to the best of my ability, but I'm watching an entire crossfire. I'm watching everything explode right in front of my eyes. It's insane. It's true insanity. You've got to deal with it. You've got to roll with the punches. You've got to take things in stride. You've got to handle things. Um, some of the favorite things that I enjoy, favorite podcasts I enjoy, things of that nature. It's those have even had to go by the wayside a little bit because of how busy things have been. And I noticed that there's one person on one of those podcasts that just loves to trash talk me and run me into the ground for their own self edification and self benefit. And I mean, it is what it is. Yeah, he's going to do that. Fine. That's what it takes to make you feel good. Then I guess I'm I'm as good a target as anybody. Might as well. So we have coming up next weekend. We have another barbecue competition coming up, which I'm excited for. Barbecue team together, and we're entering into everything. We're gonna go crazy with it. We're gonna have some fun. We have, it's been so crazy that some of the things that I've been watching just to try to relax, I've actually been watching people mow lawns in video just to be able to relax a little bit because that's how insane things have been going down here lately. You can only do so much with it. There obviously the big Illinois trip is coming up in a couple more weeks, and I'm gonna be up there, and I've got paperwork to sign on my old house, and I'm getting a lot of things wrapped up. I've got to have a bolt set ordered and delivered here before I head up to finish putting the engine together on my truck and try to have it ready to go. There's a few more things to do to it, but it's going to stay up there for probably about another year until I can figure out what I'm going to do as far as where to park it down here and take care of that. Let's see, we've been removing trees. We've been cutting back the yard. We've been opening up a burn pit. We've been doing a lot here at home that, what's downtime? It's like I get off of work and I come home and I go into work very early now. I'm leaving at 5 in the morning to go to work. And I don't get home until more often than not 5, 6 o'clock at night. And then I'm going right into working around here until 9, 10 o'clock at night, sometimes 11. And then get up and do it all over again the next day. So when I say things have been rather busy, they really have been. A lot of things going on as far as personally and emotionally and things that I've been dealing with. And I would say that like one of the biggest ones that, a lot of people don't really understand, and they kind of take it as just me being cold or not wanting to, just trying to remain distant or whatever the case may be. And it's not that. It's more along the lines of experience. And I guess I'm going to kind of dive in a little bit into, kind of inside my head today a little bit while we're waiting to see if anybody's going to join in. And I've come to the conclusion when I look back at my life and I look at the people that I called friends and I look at everybody I brought inside and everybody I allowed, I'd open that door and I would allow them in to be a part of whatever I've got going on. And of course, that always reciprocated two ways. But it's been my experience that the only time anyone has ever really invited me in, I've had this feeling lately that the only time anybody's really invited me in and they've really wanted me as a part of their lives, it's only been to use whatever I might be able to give them. And then when they're done, I'm discarded. I'm not considered a friend anymore or considered somebody that they want around. And it's just, oh, okay, I got what I wanted out of you and now I found a limit. So, I'm kind of tossed over to the side. How's it going, Tom? That's and I've noticed that even on recent weeks of doing the show, I've noticed I've been kind of distracted because that's been something that's really been weighing on my mind. Um, I almost like my friendship and what I'm able to offer and what I do for people, it's almost been a feeling of inadequacy. And that, of course, my former employers, they tend to speak very highly of what I can do and who I am and what I've done. And we're very happy to have me there. We're very sad to see me go. But I always had a utilitarian purpose for them. I would come in and I would do my job and I would be very good at what I did and I'd work hard at that. But the personal relationship has always been something to be, perfectly honest about it, it's always been something that has been elusive and elusive in such a point that on my own self-reflection and my own internal internal studying, so to speak, I've realized that part of the elusiveness of that has been my own doing. At a very minimum, subconsciously, it's been my own doing. And as I start to realize when it happened, it goes back and I let it start happening when I was younger to protect myself, I guess, surprisingly enough. And to protect myself from the pain that I knew was going to be coming by opening up. So when I have opened up, even in recent years, when I've opened up, it's been extremely rare. And the funny part is it seems to have always met with the same result. That at the end of the day, I'm the one that ends up getting hurt. As most of you out there know, I had another show that I worked very hard on and took a lot of pride in it. And long and the short of it, some things happened last year that took that away from me. Very unceremoniously robbed from me, in all honesty. And everyone there, every single person there that stole that were your friend. You're like family. We would never do that. And I sensed it. And I said I sensed it. And at the end of the day, exactly what they told me they would never do is exactly what they did. I will do for my friends, my family, as much as I can, as much as I'm able to do at any given moment in time, and I have. And what I've really come to as a conclusion is that when it's all said and done, I feel like that hasn't been enough. There's always somebody more important. There's always somebody that is more necessary. And, everybody hears me talk about how much I love my Harley and they think it's a little bit of an unhealthy obsession. But the end of the day, again, that inanimate object, unless I'm running it, that has been something that I can depend on no matter what. It's there. I've got to do some maintenance. I've got to take care of it. I've got to do my end. But that motorcycle is there to try to help boost me up and try to make, fill a void. And for the most part, it does a very good job. I appreciate it, Emma. I do. I think, and Emma hasn't even really heard me open up with with all of this. I don't tend to open up a lot at all. I I tend to bury what I'm thinking and how I'm feeling, and it's literally for the fear of how quickly am I going to get smacked down for even having an emotion. Uh, I haven't talked about it much, but when everything that happened last year had happened, I was really hurt. I wasn't even so much angry because I couldn't be because I knew it was coming. I had called it 3 months earlier. I knew that's what they were going to do. I was upset. I was hurt. I was depressed. And of course, I had Riley down here for a couple of months, and that helped kind of push it back for a little while. But then after I took him home, then it was just me, and that was it. And Tom says right here, we all have our ups and downs, and it's okay to have emotions, and people make a big deal about those who show them, but it's okay to be human. And Tom, to a point, yeah, I'm definitely going to agree with you. Yes, we all have emotions, and it should be. Let's face it, the world should be a little more open to allowing those emotions to come through. Uh, Unfortunately, that's a taboo in our society, because if you're emotional, then you're unstable, and then if you're unstable, then you need mental health, and then if you need the mental health plan, then there's got to be something wrong with you, and then we start losing fundamental rights that were guaranteed to us by the Constitution of the United States just because we have our ups and downs. And that it really does. It spirals beyond all recognition with that. I mean, there's no way around it. The So that's why, most of us had to train ourselves to bury those emotions. We have to hide them. We have to have them in the privacy of our own home, and then we can allow them to surface. Outlet is Outlet is taboo. It's a bad thing. It could be, yeah, it could. And Steve's right. Steve actually says right here, sometimes people actually make fun of you for showing your true emotions. Um, yeah, no doubt. That's a very good fact as well. Um, when you actually have a conversation, you try to have a conversation of something of this depth. I mean, I uh I've said it before. I suffer from PTSD. It is military related. I do draw a pension from it. I still receive therapy for it. I deal with a lot on a day-to-day basis every day, and there are days where it is beyond difficult for me to even get out of bed. I have to fight it. I have to do it. And where I tune in and I try to listen, and I try to find that same joy that I once had with different things. Like, I mean, like Morning Disaster being something I really did enjoy. There are there are days where I pay for the subscription. Um, but I pay for the subscription more to, in my own way, to try to help out a friend when he's struggling than I do even half the time to tune in, because I'll be honest, 2/3 of what's on there I don't tune into. I try to catch the cooking for the poors. I try to catch the Thursday night show. I try to um, listen to as many of them as I can. But like yesterday, they had a show that was at the Fat Ass 5K in Springfield, and I missed that show. I never got a notification that it was on. I never received anything telling me that that broadcast was ongoing, and I completely missed it. I and I, you know, there are times where Steve says some things where I'm sitting there and I'm going, did that really just come out of your mouth? Why would you admit that? And I really do. And I have to remind myself, usually after the fact, that 2/3 of the time it's an act. And there's Chronic Chris. So
I just got home, man.
yeah, well, we're kind of talking. We're kind of talking like emotional stability and mental health today.
It's a good topic.
Yeah. I kind of started with my own senses and feelings, and how a lot of times I was expressing this. A lot of times I feel like that and I really do, and it's been pretty heavy lately, actually, that I feel like the only time and the only reason that people even really have me around, like 3/4 of the time or 90% of the time even, is for their own self-benefit or their own self-edification or their own self-gratification. And then when they're done, I feel like I'm over here, like on the shelf, until that necessity comes back where they need to have me back. And then, of course, me being the friend that I am and having the heart that I do, I step back up, trying to be, standing for not only for what I believe in friendship, but standing for my own morals. And then I get used up again. And then when that's all used up again and it's no longer necessary, I'm put back over here on the shelf or in the closet or in the bottom drawer of the dresser underneath somebody's dirty underwears, or, at the bottom of Shorzy's toilet, or wherever it really is.
Well, and a lot of times I myself have to weed people out of social media.
Yeah.
No, I mean, like how you said, you got people that are only hanging around with you because they want something from you.
Yeah.
I get that a lot. And the minute someone ever asks, hey, can you introduce me to so-and-so? You're deleted.
Could you introduce me to Pubic Hair Peter?
You're deleted. I do not do radio and make the connections I make just to give them away to other people.
No, you're doing it because you're getting the interviews and you're boosting up Asgard and you're doing what you need to do as a program director. And I respect that. I understand that. I mean, if I was ever around and you went and talked to somebody and then I'm sitting there at the bar by myself, I would kind of be offended then.
Now, if I'm having a conversation with someone on my phone and you're sitting right next to me, hey, check out who I'm talking to. You want me to say what's up for you?
That would be one. Yeah, that's a little different. Or like we had PCB on this show, and yeah, if we're sitting at, just for all intents and purposes, if we're sitting at like Top Fuel Saloon and here come the guys from Prison City Brigade, and you just took off and went and had a big old fucking joint with them, and then I'm sitting there having a drink because I don't smoke weed, and then everybody comes walking back in, but you go to a table and just leave me by myself. Yeah, I'm gonna be hurt.
I wouldn't. That's a fucking dick move.
But I've had it happen.
When I walk into the Top Fuel Saloon, I go around the whole bar just, hey, how's it going? Long time no see. I literally go up and say hi to everybody.
But I've had that happen.
Those people are fucking dicks and they're not very good friends.
I've literally had people that, no shit. I mean, like, even I've had people even where I've helped them get something done literally an hour earlier, and then somebody walks in and we're sitting there having a drink or having dinner or whatever. Somebody walks in that they know, and they will get up and go talk to that person, and then they disappear over here. And an hour and a half later, I'm still sitting at the bar, and they come walking up and they go, "Oh, I didn't know you were still here." And literally, I've had that happen.
Now, and I have sat at a bar where there were people in there that I needed just to cut them out of my lives. And I sat in the bar and didn't say not a word to them. I got a guy at work. We haven't said a word to each other in 2 years, but we work together.
Yeah. I mean, we had a guy at work that was literally taking off with students and getting drunk at noon and coming back.
See, now when you're doing that, I'm sorry. You know what?
But I was stuck in a position where
I'm not a snitch. And I'm not a tattletale. Exactly. My daddy always says, don't be a tattletale. But if you're doing something that puts my own personal safety at risk, damn Skippy, I'm saying, hey, give this motherfucker a breathalyzer right now.
But, I can't walk in there and do that. You know what I mean? Because I didn't have proof. I didn't have pictures. I didn't have something that said, oh, yeah, he went and had a beer.
I'm sorry. I actually had one kid at work walk up to me after lunch, just smelled like a fucking brewery. And you for real, dude? Go fucking home.
But I mean, this guy would come back in and there were students, and he wouldn't even get near me. He'd stay away from me, but he'd grab the students he was just out drinking with and throw them all three of them in the truck, or four or whatever it was, and they'd take off. And they'd disappear until it was time for him to get off of work, and they made a beeline for his vehicle and they left.
Yeah, that's and I'm sorry. I thought they had rules that teachers and instructors were not allowed to fraternize with the students, no matter what gender they are.
It's an ethics. It's an ethics.
Yes, it's ethics. You are a boss. They are an employee.
Right.
They are not. I used to be a manager at McDonald's, and I had several of my friends that worked underneath me. And I always told them, I love you guys to death. We're really good friends. But once we hit that time clock, I'm sorry, we cease to be friends and we become manager and employee.
Yeah. But I mean, you get what I'm saying is like, he would do that. And then I'd say, something's not right here. And I would bring it up and I would get told, oh, well, you just don't know what you're talking about. You're just trying to stir up trouble. And then they find out that I was right. And what do I hear instead at work? I hear, well, you knew something was up. Why didn't you say anything?
Yeah, there's kind of a two-way street there.
And I'm going, really?
But, also, I've dealt with people that are straight up some fucking drunks, but can still function and do the job. But when you're stumbling and slurring your words and not able to function properly, then it's time to go home.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like right here, I'm drinking a beer, right? This is my first beer today. I've literally been drinking water and outside working all day. I cut down 2 trees. I don't ask for help. right? I don't, and it kind of goes right into the whole mental health thing that I was talking about. Like, I don't ask for the help because, again, like I've gone and I've helped people out. Now, when I ask for the help, everybody's always got something to do, and I end up doing it alone. How's it going, Adam?
Howdy, guys.
Hey, I said it many times when I was younger in my early 20s. I was asking for help constantly, and no one ever came. Eventually, I just quit asking for help.
Well, I mean,
Fuck it,
okay.
I'll figure it out.
So these trees, I did ask a friend of mine for help. One of my coworkers, good friend of mine, I asked for some help. Would you be able to come up this weekend? I've got 2 trees to take down, and I could use some help moving stuff around where I could cut them after I've got them down and get them sectioned out. Well, no. How about next weekend? Well, next weekend I'm in barbecue competition. I have to cook. Oh, well, no. But I have dropped multiple different times. I've dropped what I had going on to go help this particular friend out and done what I needed to do and been a good friend and been there. And now, again, when I need the help or hell, just when I would like some company, just a visit from somebody.
Sounds awfully one-sided, TJ.
Yeah, pretty much. So you're kind of getting where I told Chris, I said, I've been kind of talking mental health and mental stability, and where, especially like on my end, where I feel like I give and give and give and give and give and give and give, but then when I ask, I'm asked out, which is why I tend to keep people very closed off.
Yeah.
Well, and I'll tell you what, since we're on the subject of mental health, and I've told people many times, I struggle with mental health every day of my life. I have for 40 plus years. I've been suicidal. I've been depressed. That's why I tell people, if you're feeling that way, feel free to hit me up. I'm a guy that's been there. I know how it feels. And that's why I kind of am the way I am. I try to always be positive, not take anything for granted in this life, and live every day like it's my last.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I've tried to make no secret. I mean, I've attempted on my life 6 times, and it's one time that I'm glad I failed. But yeah, I would much rather hear you vent to me. Even if I disagree, I'll just shut up and let you vent, because I'd rather that happen than hear your obituary.
Exactly. I'd rather listen to you now than cry for you later.
Yeah.
And I mean, don't get me wrong. It's even gotten down, and I've got to admit, I know I haven't been up to where I normally am the last couple of weeks, and I know you guys have noticed. And I got to admit it, last couple of weeks, I've just been in this funk, thinking like this and thinking about it. That it came to a point towards the end of this past week. I'm like, do the 22 have it right? I mean, I seriously have thought that. Did they have the right idea?
Honestly, I'm going to say no, because I know it sounds morbid and wrong and all kinds of just fucked up, but reason why I always buy a Powerball ticket. Because if I die today, my numbers are probably going to hit tomorrow. So I gotta wait. I gotta wait to see what numbers are going to hit first.
Oh, is that it? Yeah, that's pretty morbid. But you know what I'm saying is, like, I get into that.
There's a kind of a metaphor behind that, because you never know what's going to happen tomorrow.
I know what's going
So-
to happen tomorrow. I'm going to get up. I'm going to go to work. I'm going to get told that I don't know what I'm talking about all day. And then I'm going to come home and I'm going to go to work and get told that I don't know what I'm talking about all night. Then I'm going to go to bed even more depressed than when I got up and do it all over again.
Okay, so my question to you, TJ, is if you think that's going to happen at any point in time during the day, can you do something that can change that mood? Like after you're done being told that you're wrong for the evening, is there something you can do after that, but before you go to bed, that can raise your spirits at all? Maybe it's take a trip on your motorcycle. Maybe it's go to your favorite spot and visit with some of the friends there. I mean,
Don't get
is
me
there
wrong.
anything?
Adam
lot of-
smells like microwave salmon and broccoli.
Dude, you smell like microwave salmon and broccoli?
How does Irene know what you smell like?
That's a good question, too.
That's weird.
That's disturbing.
Yeah.
But no, you get what I'm saying is, kind of getting back on point. It's lately, no, because I've been trying to sock money back to get ready for the Illinois trip. And of course, everybody knows that the month before that, I tend to pinch a lot on the money. But I mean, like, there are so many benefits that I am supposed to have with this job that they're not showing up. Like, they're deducting the money from my paid time off, but it's not going to my paid time off. I don't know where it's going, but it's not showing up that I'm earning that time.
Yeah, that sounds very wrong. I mean, you're considered an educator, right, TJ?
Yeah.
Can you touch base with the local teachers guild, or not guild, but association, and see if they can help you out?
I mean, I could. The last person that did out of this campus got unceremoniously dismissed. Like within a day, because you got to have to remember. Really? Yeah, you have to remember that Texas is an at-will state. Okay. Either employee or employer can terminate employment at any time for any reason. There doesn't even have to be a reason. Oh, we don't like your face, you're fired.
Oh.
I mean, it's literally that quick. And to add insult to injury, I have an evaluation coming up this week from a director of education that I know has a very personal problem with me. And it all stems from me being hired by corporate and not being hired by her. And I see this evaluation going extremely terribly. But this same person has had no interaction with me in 2.5 months because she's locked herself in her office because of everything going on around work and won't have any interaction with anybody, but still has the authority to pass judgment and affect my career.
Yeah. That doesn't seem right.
No, it's not right. It's actually extremely unfair.
Yeah.
And it's very, very biased towards the company. I mean,
I always say, don't no one got right to pass judgment on me because there ain't no one out there whose hands are clean enough.
But I mean, like I did something yesterday just out of malice that I know it, just to get it out of my system. And unfortunately I did it. And I know Steve and Chris would be very angry when they hear this, but I found a pot plant growing in the ditch and I ran the thing over with the lawnmower and then backed up and ran over it again and backed up and ran over it again and backed up and ran over it again.
Fucking asshole. He's probably thinking about me every time he ran it over.
No,
yeah, that's what I want to do to your fucking head.
No, I was not. Actually, I was thinking about somebody else when I was running that thing over.
I mean, I
Uh,
thought I was probably the biggest stoner you know. I mean, shit, I sat here and done 3 dabs since we started the show. Each one bigger than the last.
I've got everybody to commenting on that one now. Jeff, how dare
Yes,
you?
how dare you? How
Steve's
dare you? In the words of Greta von Sustern, how dare you?
Irene says, Steve, it'll be okay. I think Steve is now having emotional trauma hearing that I obliterated this
Hey.
pot plant.
Hey, just remember, all he was doing was spreading some seeds.
Well, that was kind of the thought because I was aiming them back up into the more fertile grass and the more fertile lawn.
Too bad it's not like mushrooms and can just grow off some spores.
Well, I mean, mushrooms
Couldn't you have
grow.
just transplanted the tree, TJ? Wouldn't that have been more effective?
No. No, Steve's very angry at me now.
Front porch flower pot and just sat there and because it's legal in Texas, ain't it?
What, pot?
Yeah.
No, it's not. No, it's
Oh,
highly illegal still in Texas.
Okay, except for they make the one exception for Willie, I guess.
And Waylon if he was still alive, but and I found a couple plants that are growing in Lukenbach that I haven't said anything to anybody, but I know they're there.
That's where Waylon was from.
Lukenbach, Texas. But you get what I'm saying. I saw it growing. I'm like, oh my God, I have a CDL. There's a pot plant growing in my ditch. I better run this thing over and obliterate the shit out of it before somebody comes up and goes, oh, you've got a pot plant growing in your ditch.
Well, someone must have thrown their fucking seeds out the window because they'd have to prove it's in the ditch, which is technically not your property.
But I have to mow it.
But still, then they'd have to prove. And, I guess it's Texas. They don't have to prove anything. They just got to think.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, they could shoot me. You know,
the eyes of a ranger are upon you.
I need a beer.
Make a Lone Star.
No, Pearl.
Ooh, there you go.
Oh.
And ladies and gentlemen, if you would like to sit at the bar and have a can of Pearl, a can of Hams, or a can of Blatz, all your retro beers are proudly served at the Top Fuel Saloon in Braidwood, Illinois.
Well, I'm actually not drinking Pearl. I am drinking Shinerbach.
Ooh, some Shinerbach.
Okay.
A little more fresh here because, Shiner's 3 hours down the road.
I'm actually on a mission for another buddy of mine. He says he can't find the Blue Moon Spiced anymore.
Really?
Yeah, so I've been looking everywhere I go. I'm about to make a trip down to Clarksville to the largest liquor store in the United States.
Irene made brownies out of Shinerbach?
Yeah, you can do that.
It's used Shinerbach and maybe some weed.
Oh, those would be very special brownies.
Yeah, take him to Steve.
I'll tell you
help
what.
heal his heart after
My
TJ ran
grandma-
over that plant.
My grandma would make a fruitcake at Christmas time. And this wasn't your conventional fruitcake because you ate a quarter slice and you were fucking getting a DUI.
Rum cake?
Yeah.
Like there was a gallon of rum in this cake.
Oh, God.
Grandma loved her booze, but I never saw her drunk.
Dude, you know what? I'd say a gallon of tequila and some weed. And bake that into brownies.
That sounds like Cinco de Mayo.
There you go.
You think those brownies would be special enough?
I think the
Oh,
taste of the
probably.
tequila would really offset the flavor of the weed, though. And besides that, you'd have to cook it. You'd have to bake it very, very carefully because alcohol and THC burn off at different temperatures.
Right.
So it would be an excruciating bake of constantly watching your temp.
Okay, so let me see. Steve, you are the resident chef when it comes to cooking with stuff that has THC content. So let me ask you, I know you're in the chat room. Can you bake brownies with a THC content and tequila to where you get the double back effect? No, he actually does.
Yes, you can, but like I said, you have to watch your temps.
But what I'm asking, like, he doesn't just necessarily use weed. He's got like that THC based fat. And he'll use that. Like, it's like a THC lard.
I don't know. I know it could all make a really interesting dessert. Use the alcohol in like a chocolate syrup. Have like a brownie a la mode type deal.
No. Brownie a la mode sounds like it might be a turd with ice cream on it.
So this book tells you how to bake, how to cook. I got a recipe for fucking tacos in here.
Okay, he says
teaches you how to take your weed and take your alcohol and infuse the weed into the alcohol for that kind of mixture.
Okay, so Steve says THC burns off at over 225 degrees. So you got to be real careful, slow and low.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. You have to watch your temps.
So those brownies would have to be baked at like 115.
We would bake our brownies at 150 for about 10 minutes. They would still be just a little bit gooey in the center if you tried to eat them right away.
Yeah.
But if you let them cool with delayed cooking and process and everything, dude, we used to, oh man.
Yeah, but what if you put like tequila in with that? Wouldn't the tequila burn off at 150?
But if you take your weed and infuse it into the tequila and then bake it like that, then all you have to do is worry about not burning off your alcohol since it goes at such a lower temperature.
Okay.
Because once you take your weed, you can sit there and throw it in a bottle of tequila. And is what's going to happen is the alcohol in it is going to eat up the trichomes to where once you pull all the buds and crap out of it, you got a straight alcohol THC mixture.
Bailey's Irish cream and vanilla ice cream. Oh my God. Definitely infusion your weed. Okay. So that's what I was trying to
keep one of these handy.
That goes in coffee.
That goes with everything.
Not necessarily.
Coffee, ice cream, Tootsie Rolls, chocolate cake, cheesecake.
Are you going to sit there and take a shot of tequila while you're sitting on the John? Or a shot of Kahlua while you're sitting on the John?
Probably not the Kahlua. Tequila wouldn't be the first time.
Why does that not surprise me?
But, you know, like I said, kind of going back to, you know, looking at it. Yeah, okay, yes, I ran over this pot plant. But, you know, I've also been out here all weekend and literally, like today, even putting the work in that I did today and knowing that, hey, I asked a couple people for help and I got no help. And yes, I even mowed my lawn at the PGA required height of 4 inches for the rough.
So you trying to make your fucking yard look like a golf course?
I would love to make my yard look like a golf course.
See, I tried to make mine look like Wrigley Field.
I would be okay with that too. But I
Except
haven't
for the
dumped enough
neighbors
old.
look at me kind of weird when I put a big W in white spray paint on the front yard.
Well, I haven't dumped enough old style on my yard because you cannot get old style in Texas.
Can't find it down here either.
You cannot get old style in Texas. For me to get a bottle of Malort in Texas, it cost me over $100 to have it shipped.
Yeah, because Malort is not worth that. Not even close to that.
Malort is not worth that ever.
Yep.
Now, I could pick Malort, I could pick up in Illinois for $10 a bottle. I'm not spending $90 on shipping.
Well, you're getting the wrong people to ship it to you. They don't know what they're doing. You go to the United States Postal Service and get the flat rate box and ship it for $8.
Irene wants to know who's going to make her field look like a target for giant girthy torpedoes.
That sounds like a job for Steve.
Oh, you just reminded me one year. We lived out on a farm, so we had like 5 acres to mow once a month.
I think Steve just logged out so he could get a hold of Irene and make the offer.
We actually picked a day that we mowed fuck off into the lawn and then left it there for a week. Anyone flying over, all the farmers doing their crop dusting and shit, got a big fuck off from us.
Well, of course, you know, Adam did get renamed, so I have to go ahead and get his headline on here for this week. And
Sparkle Parts!
Another promotion?
yes,
Sparkle
and here
Farts.
it is.
Turd farmer. Okay. Making up the fertilizer.
That's right.
Got to.
Huh?
Said someone's got to. Someone's got to make these plants grow. Just so TJ can mow them down again.
Well, throw your fucking pot plants in my yard and I'm going to mow them down until the day I retire. And then after I retire, I'm stealing all your buds and I'm going to smoke them myself and stay fucking high and laugh at your ass after I smoked all your weed.
That's another thing I miss about where I lived is watching all the farmers get ready.
Oh, what? Back in Illinois?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, you actually missed the preparation for planting season.
I kind of do.
Why? Because you were sneaking your pot seeds out there when they weren't looking?
No, because you know the whole area smells like meth, but no one's actually cooking it.
The fucking anhydrous.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, you know, again, I kind of go back to the long and the short of it. And just, again, that's one of them things of I'm afraid to ask for help. You know, that's another thing where this is all really fucked up. This is where really getting inside your head really gets into being a problem. Because
fuck, Irene.
Ew.
What was he covered in?
Ew.
That he never called you.
He was
Oh. I'm just going to put this up here and let you guys read it. I'm not even going to repeat that. Ew.
All right, Irene. Click in. I need details.
Yeah, Irene, you have to log in.
After all that,
He never
back.
She says they never found his body. Well, okay. No,
Sounds
no,
like
I'm not
Irene's
going
got
there.
really
I'm
good
not going
hydroponic.
there. I'm not going there. I'm not going there. I don't want to go there. Don't go there. Don't go there. Don't go there.
Hey,
Don't go
Irene.
there. Why were you having sex at the morgue? Damn it, I went there.
Yes, he did.
Hey, Irene, you know what the difference between an onion and the dead hooker in my closet is?
The onion smells better.
I cried when I cut up the onion.
Oh God. So Rage has got his big wrestling match coming up. Have you guys heard about this?
I have not.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because Rage has made sure to cover like his wall with all this stuff, and yeah,
Oh,
well,
yeah, I
I've
think I
heard.
saw something about it, but
Yeah.
honestly,
So
I haven't watched wrestling. Well, I watch it on occasion. I think I called you the last time I turned on Raw,
yeah, I think he did.
but I'm not big on wrestling anymore. To me, you know, once I found out how fake it really is. Yep, I seen that.
Yeah. So here we go. It is actually going to be on TV. British Round Rules of Violence death match. Rage versus Aiden Blackheart at the Maryland Rose Center in Indianapolis. Doors open 6, first bell at 7, and it's Asylum Wrestling Revolution. New Blood looks like 6.
Okay.
When is that?
That is next weekend, May 18th, and it will be on IWTV.
I'll tell you what, Rage. I'll meet you in Indianapolis, and I'll have a stack of Asgard hand towels that when you need someone in the corner, I'll just be in the corner handing you towels to wipe off with.
You would really let Rage put his sweat on something that says Asgard Radio?
You know, come to think of it, maybe I'll just give you like an old man cow towel or something.
You know what? I know what you need. Steve, we need your help. Rage is going to need sweat towels. Do you have some old underwears that you may be able to donate?
I was just going to say, I think I might know where to get some old pairs of whitey tighties.
These aren't exactly white now.
Yeah. No, they
Well,
made
neither are these ones, but they used to be white and they used to be tight, but they are no longer white and they are no longer tight.
That might work for Rage as a sweat towel.
Yeah.
Any chance he can get pink eye from them?
Ooh,
Absolutely.
he's got about a 1 in 10 chance.
Steve says
1 in
yes.
10.
Steve says yes. He does have underwears he could donate for Rage's sweat towels.
All right, guys, I'll be right back.
All right.
So, with that being said, I'm going to cancel my offer to be your tall boy for your match next weekend.
Maybe Steve could be the towel boy.
There you go.
And then Rage's towels would be old stained underwears.
And I'm sorry, the only payment you'll get is the experience and being able to say, I was a towel boy.
Now, I think Rage would be the one getting the payment. I mean, Steve might fart. Oh, I take it you are on your computer now.
Yeah, I finally got to my studio. I was on the way home from my mom's.
I see that. I see that.
So hopefully it sounds
right.
better.
It does. It sounds a lot better now.
There we go.
I got that taken care of.
Yep.
Ladies and
Of course,
gentlemen,
I need to have that title. It's got to be about that title.
what title?
Turd Farmer.
Oh, okay.
Hey, it's better than Turd Burglar.
I'm saving that one for somebody else.
Oh.
Better than Turd Burglar and Turd Muncher.
Yep.
So all right, back to the original subject and where we were at, because I think we were getting somewhere with trying to figure out what's wrong with my head. Or figure out what's, just discussing mental health in general, really, because if anybody hasn't noticed, it is a growing problem in the United States.
Yeah.
The mental health aspect of the country.
Well, and can I also say that a good portion of that, it is a growing problem in this country, but a good portion of the reason why it's a growing problem in this country, and I don't mean to get all health nut and guru on you, but a lot of it is the shit you people put in your bodies. When you buy food at the stores, double check your ingredients.
Look, I'm looking for every preservative I can, okay? Because I know I'm not going to live forever, but I want to be well preserved.
I mean, I'm not saying go organic in everything you buy, because a lot of times buying organic is actually
Worse.
Yeah, but I mean, literally double check a lot of your ingredients. Some of the worst foods out there, I bet, is in everybody's cupboards.
Cream of mushroom soup?
Campbell's has been known to put a lot of stuff that's not allowed in other parts of the world in their food.
I use the HEB brand.
One of the big ones is stuff like Pop-Tarts and breakfast cereals.
Dude, I don't, the only breakfast cereal I buy ever is Raisin Bran. And then it's the generic Raisin Bran. And the only I don't buy fucking breakfast. I buy eggs and bacon for breakfast food and chorizo. And sausage.
Well, like,
because I want to sit there for breakfast and go, I'll have the Polish sausage.
But
no, I mean, again, I'm going
about food and I start thinking about Chicago.
Right. But I mean, seriously, I don't buy the Pop-Tarts and well, I buy ice cream once in a while. You're fucking right, I will. But it's rare.
But at the same time, even with ice cream, look at a lot of the ingredients in it and different varieties. Like your Blue Bunny compared to your Ben and Jerry's. Take the same two things, and Ben and Jerry's is actually a better product.
Yeah, and it's got more weed in it.
It's actually it's still ice cream, but it's more healthy than, say, Blue Bunny, or even one of the worst ones of them all is Nestle.
Oh yeah, no, I don't get Nestle anything.
Yeah.
Like if I was still in Illinois, I would get Prairie Farms. I did like Prairie Farms. There's a local farm down here that I get. I can't remember off the top of my head what it is, but it's one of the local farms in Texas that I get. A lot of what I buy is HEB brand, made in Texas or grown in Texas or whatever. I mean, it's pretty much local. It's a little bit better quality.
Okay.
I can honestly say that my steak, my pork, my beef, my, anything that I'm getting out of the meat section at HEB is made out of meat. I put a 3-inch steak on the grill and I cook that thing. It comes off. I don't care how far I cook it down. I could cook it to rare where I like it, or blue. I could cook it to medium rare. I could cook it to well done. But when I'm done cooking that steak, it is still a 3-inch steak. I am not cooking water out of that.
The best places in the United States to buy your beef are the old cattle drive states: Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas,
Absolutely.
Wyoming, and Montana. The best beef in the United States are sold in those 6 states.
Like I said, I pick up a 15-pound brisket at HEB. It's already got the Declan fat cut off. Still got a layer of fat that's about 1.5 inches thick, but the Declan fat, that really, really thick, not necessary fat that goes into lard, is already cut off. And I've got a 15, 16-pound brisket for like $40.
Right on.
Yeah.
My chicken is not loaded up with a bunch of crap that when I cook my chicken, I don't have any meat that I buy from here because I get all my meat either at the meat market or I get it at HEB. But none of the meat that I cook here, that I buy here, it's got a lot of stuff in it because it'll shrink as you cook it. It gets smaller. And what I'm cooking with here doesn't.
Well, I like to get venison from the hunters and my beef from one of the guys I work with that probably has about 3 dozen head of cattle on his property at any given time.
Yeah. I get venison from when I go hunting. If I want fish, fresh fish, I go out and catch it.
See, that's one thing I seriously miss about Illinois. Because I'll tell you what, when I worked at the Top Fuel Saloon, probably for the last 6 months to maybe a year that I was there, my buddy Doug, he worked at Donnelly's in Dwight, which was right down the street from my house.
Yeah.
And he got off at 6 a.m. He'd get off, come over to my apartment, just walk in at 6:30 in the morning and crack open a beer. And that was literally my alarm clock.
Did he cough to get off?
Huh?
Did he cough to get off?
No, he just walked in and cracked open a beer, and I would hear that and just instantly wake up. All right, time to go fucking fishing. And straight up, if we caught worthwhile that day, we would go fishing from about 7 a.m. till about 10 a.m., and then it was time for me to go to work at the bar. If we caught something worthwhile, it went to the bar with me and got filleted and cooked right there. I was the only person that actually served fresh caught catfish.
All right, so I want to know something. And it's a question that I've had on my mind. And I want to ask the pot smokers in the room. Do you have to cough to get off?
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily?
No. Basically all coughing does is breaks up and opens up the capillaries in your lungs, letting the THC get deeper into it. But either way, you're ingesting the same amount of THC, the same form, so not necessarily.
Because I have been told by other people that if you're going to smoke and smoke right, you have to cough to get off.
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like I said, it does help because it helps break up and open up the capillaries in your lung, let you absorbing the THC deeper, but not necessarily. Are you gonna cough after eating a brownie?
No.
Are you gonna cough after having a weed drink?
I don't know, maybe.
Then why do you necessarily have to cough if you're smoking?
You know what? I just had a thought.
Smoking involves your lungs, and so is coughing? Maybe.
The minute
THC infused personal lubrication.
Encourage stoners to go
right here,
down.
motherfucker.
I knew it. If it existed, Chris had it. There it is. I'm going to zoom in. Keep it up there, Chris. There it is. No. I said
this is pain relieving lotion.
Pain relief lotion. I said personal lubricant.
What's a lotion?
A
lotion could be a lubricant.
No, I'm saying like a THC water-based. Yes, it is definitely for that lubricant. Why does Chris look like he's looking to see if he can find it now?
THC-based lubricant.
Because it probably does exist somewhere.
It probably does.
Created for everyone, our water-based medicated lube is latex condom safe and worry-free intimacy. Suitable for use with any condoms or toys.
There you go. So, you know, Steve or
Experience a revolution in intimacy with Kush Queen's award-winning THC lube.
Oh God!
Right there. All right. So Steve hits on one side of that where I was like, it could, you know, that would be a big benefit for him. But there was the other side of that thought process as well, where it's like, all right, Chris's wife refuses to touch weed. He could say he gave her a THC injection that way.
A THC hot beef
Refuse
injection.
to touch weed. She just don't necessarily smoke.
But that would be a way for you to get her high without her knowing about it.
She just came in here, arms all crossed, with the look like, "What are you talking about?"
Oh,
TJ we were talking about all the weed products because someone said to TJ, "Well, if you can't get off unless you cough," and TJ asked upon that, and I said, "Not necessarily." And then I said, you know, do you cough if you eat a brownie? Do you cough if you have a weed drink? And then TJ said something about a weed lubricant, and I'm like, well, I got lotion.
Well, I mean, the whole get off side of that is where my mind went, and I'm like, wait a minute. So if there's a weed lubricant, you wouldn't necessarily cough, but then the weed would definitely help you get off.
in two different ways.
Right.
Yeah, multiple ways. What? Only if they find out.
What did she say?
She says it's illegal to drug somebody without them knowing. I said, only if they find out.
Something tells me Chris is about to order some of this and give it a shot.
And I'm sorry. Bill Cosby should have looked at them and says, "Do you remember me drugging you?"
Right. Irene says, what if you put weed on the tatas?
Well, the lotion I have, it actually absorbs it into your skin. So, I mean, it's a local, but you'd still feel it in that spot.
So tingly titties.
Yeah.
You can arouse the areolas in two different ways.
We're not.
Oh, God. Oh. Oh,
Yeah, Steve, if that's
really
technically you
that.
could. And
You
if that's
guys-
your bag, then you do you. But only you.
Oh, and leave it to Irene. Oh, God. Oh. That was wow.
Yeah, it's a bit much there.
I didn't think it could get that bad, and then I was proven wrong.
Yeah, I just woo.
I was like, I was just thinking like the whole, hey, you know, the masturbation or for you know, couples pleasure.
That took a hard right.
But
real
that
quick.
that was a hard right. And I mean, if that's what you're into, great. But if somebody's trying to do that to me, hard no.
Yeah. Remember, we have to watch our contents for YouTube.
New meaning to coming in hat. Ugh.
Coming in hot, boys. Woohoo!
That subject went straight up off-road.
Yeah, well, that was definitely going up the old dirt trail, if nothing else.
Yeah.
All right, so Steve kind of brings us full circle back around to what I was saying here. He's like, he's alone. He don't have anyone. I mean, the thing is like, and I get where Steve's coming from, you know, dude. And that kind of, it brings up a good point. That brings up another one where
fucking dab.
Yeah, you might need one for this. But that brings up another point with like the whole dating situation. I'm not even bringing all of that up, Irene. I mean, that's all a fucking disaster. I feel sorry for Steve in that. But you look at the whole dating situation for anybody, especially this day and age. And I mean, joking and bullshit and everything set aside, you got to be damn cautious these days. Because dating is even fucking worse when it comes to people just basically getting you for what they want and then running away. I don't see where there is anybody out there anymore that is willing to accept somebody for who and what they are that isn't taken. Oh, yeah. See, here you go. So, Steve's agreeing with me. And then Irene's going, she's seen 5 Tinder dates end in murder. I guess that was one way to get off.
And that's what's bullshit, man.
Yeah, because nobody else got
hurt. You can go hook up with people on Tinder and whatever dating app they have, but they took it off Craigslist.
Craigslist. Look, my point being is like, all right, Steve is in his upper middle 50s. I'm in my mid 40s. You know, I've got one wife that passed away. I've had 2 wives that I've divorced. When I look at that, and Steve says he can't even get a hookup.
Steve,
we'll go into that.
Tell you later. What you do. Next Thursday night, go to your local bingo hall and just say hi to people.
Steve right now he's all right with 19. He's all right with him being from 19 to 90.
If you're in your mid 50s, the bingo hall is perfect to meet women about your age. And if they're there, they're probably single.
Yeah, okay. I never thought of the bingo hall. I really didn't. But so going back to what I was saying, though, like Steve says, he's a nice guy. He'd be happy with just a hookup.
Hey, years ago, I ended up dating a girl who called me and had the wrong number. And I said, no, you don't. Who are you looking for? And then we sat there and talked for about an hour and a half. A couple of days later, I went up to Bridgeview to take her out.
Yeah.
I mean, you never know where you're going to meet someone.
Oh, he says, fuck that. He just had a bingo groupie. The one he was talking to recently was a bingo groupie.
Oh, yeah, then you'll want to avoid that particular bingo hall.
Yeah, might want to find another one.
Yeah.
But I mean, again, kind of hitting point here and being very honest about it. Like dating these days for someone that is of the mature-ish age, it's fucking impossible. All right, look at the last girlfriend I had. What did she want? She wanted my fucking money and wanted me to take care of her fucking dogs.
Can I tell you another idea?
Stop dating?
Date yourself. Like, seriously, take yourself to a
yourself?
nice place Have yourself a nice dinner.
I mean, you see those calluses?
I ain't saying go jerk off in an alley. I'm saying take yourself somewhere
are
nice.
worse.
Take yourself out to the movies.
Dude,
Just me and Yahtzee. Just me and Yahtzee. Let's go.
I do. I do go out and do a lot of stuff alone. But what I'm saying is, like, fucking dating these days, and Steve will back this up, dating these days for anyone, it is a fucking nightmare, man. I do moisturize, but I also work.
So you have to remember, Steve knows that you have soft hands, TJ.
Right.
I haven't done it in years because I'm married now, but dating isn't that hard. Take her to a movie. Avoid conversation.
Dating wasn't bad in my 20s. But the conversations now, when you're in your mid 40s and you're just trying to get to know somebody and you want to go on a date or whatever, it's always taking a hard left or a hard right turn of who gives a fuck, They're all about try to get out the door. Or they're about how much money do you have in your pocket?
Well, I don't see anything wrong with the first one. The second one really is none of your business on the first date.
And the first one is whatever happened to having a conversation, actually going out on an actual date, actually going out and doing different fucking things so you could build a relationship.
Honestly, I haven't been on a first date in a long ass time, but I'd treat a first date like I'd treat an interview. Hey, what kind of music do you like? What are your hobbies? What inspires you? It's not hard to talk to people.
I mean, like my friend Jen up here that works at the bar. We're supposed to go riding sometime when I get a chance. And that's our first date. We're going to go riding. We're going to get dinner. We're going to maybe catch a movie while we're out on a bike. Then we're going to come back and probably just sit and shoot the shit.
Okay, so you said when you make the time. So are you going to make the time?
It's not even make the time. It's what I need is what I need is the fucking weather to agree.
There you go, Irene. Show me some DDR.
Dance Dance Revolution.
Yep. Took me a second, but once it clicked, I'm like, oh, yeah, there you go.
Seriously? Seriously.
I don't want to go to Nashville to the beercade.
I want to hop on a bike and go ride back roads in the hill country. And then hit a decent restaurant and sit down and have a conversation, hop back on and go ride some more of the hills in the hill country, and then go back to her place or my place and sit down and have a couple of drinks and a conversation. And when it's all said and done, hey, you want me to call you a cab, or, you want me to try to get you home on, let me go get the car. I'll give you a ride home. What do you want to do? Oh, I want to stay the night. No, I'm serious. And
Irene,
this is literally where I'm at with it now. It's like, oh, no, I want to stay the night. No, hold on right there. You are not staying the night the first date. Hit the fucking road. You want to have a makeout session out here? Okay, that's one thing. You want to try to jump my fucking bones first date? All you are is a slut. Time to go home. I got a friend named Steve. I'll give you his phone number. You can call him.
if you wonder, I've told you can.
I mean, that's where I'm at with it.
I don't think you have to even go that far, Irene.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
A mother, sister, cousin duo. Hey, ugh.
Is she talking about a foursome?
That sounds like a twosome in West Virginia. That sounds like a twosome in West Virginia. Mother, sister, cousin.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. That could be a mother cousin or a sister cousin.
Well,
that could be it'd be a threesome.
Yeah, because the cousin could be male or female.
Right. And Steve says, anyone that wants to give it to me the first date, and I say you're a slut, give him his number any time of day.
He is willing to sacrifice himself.
He will sacrifice himself
on
the team.
TJ.
I'm telling you, but I mean, I think even more along the lines of like, you don't know what's out there anymore. This could be a raging case of fiery clap that's trying to jump in my lap. No.
But I've got the clap and I'm giving it to you. I've got the clap and I'm giving it to you. I've got the clap and I'm giving it to you. Who's got the clap? I do.
The fact that you're bragging about that says a lot.
You know that was on a children's TV show?
Yeah, the Wiggles.
The Wiggles?
That's the one. I couldn't remember which one it was on.
Irene is now scratching smelling dick on a first date off of potential pastimes. And Steve says, give him 10 minutes to shower and then he'll be ready. We'll give you 20 so you got time to gooch blast.
Yeah.
You might want to make sure that mud flap's cleaned off. But you guys get what I'm saying is like dating after you hit 40 is a fucking challenge. It really is.
It's a different game. It really is.
Well, what Chris doesn't get it, all right? Because, I've got my wife. I've had my wife since I was 25. Chris does not understand.
Oh, no.
Right?
No, I get it. Dude.
Okay.
TJ, you never knew me before I met my wife.
But you've been with your wife for how long now?
14 years.
You better kiss her. That's a lot of fucking patience.
When I met my wife, I lived in Dwight. I had a girlfriend in Morris, a girlfriend in Coal City, and I was hooking up with what is now my wife in Dwight.
Dude, you're fucking.
So Chris was a man whore. Chris was a man
whore. But you were in your late 20s during that time, right? Late 20s, early 30s.
Yeah, late 20s.
Okay. So when you finally married your wife, that was all out of your system and you two were ready to settle down. Just smile and nod because you're going to get yourself in trouble otherwise. There you go.
There you go.
Okay. So you and your wife now have this marriage where you know where you stand. She's the boss, and you try to defy that, and then you get your spanking, and then everything goes on every day.
Remember, folks, and I'm going to quote my wife with this one, it's easier to ask forgiveness than it is to beg permission.
Ask for permission than beg for forgiveness? Or did you mean...
But what I'm saying... But the point I'm getting at is I'm in my mid-40s. Steve is in his mid-50s. Adam, you have somebody in your mid-30s right now. Irene is now, she's been with hers for 14 years.
TJ, I am not much younger than you. Seriously.
Okay, you're late 30s.
I'm 43.
Okay, so
you guys watch
40s.
You guys watch Friends, right?
No.
Not anymore.
Fuck
But you
that
got the gist
show.
of the show, and you know who Joey is, right?
No.
Yeah.
Before I met my wife, every woman I met, I would Joey her. How you doing? Hey, how you doing? How you doing?
Wait. So you were what's his name on How I Met Your Mother? The one that was played by Doogie Howser?
Barney. Yep.
Barney. You were Barney.
Yep.
All right. So I mean, again, all right. Irene's in her late 30s. Adam's in his early 40s. I'm in my mid 40s. But you guys have somebody there. All of you do. And this is another spot where it starts to hit that self-esteem point, and it starts to hit me, and I'm like, what the fuck have I been doing? Because even Rage, of all people, Rage has a wife.
Which, how he pulled that off, and you are single? What the fuck, TJ?
Roofies?
No, for that you'd have to constantly roofie them.
Yeah, that's a constant Cosby.
I mean,
does she get a check from the government
to stay married to him? Maybe.
I guess he would be considered a disability to someone else.
Right. Marvin has a harem in his
kids
70s.
in her class.
Marvin has a harem in his 70s.
Yeah, but Marvin's one of a kind. Come on. No one can compare to Marvin.
But where
Marvin has a whole system that he created.
But what I'm getting at is I look at this and I'm like, dating now, you have to be triple cautious when you're going on a date today. Now, this day and age, at our age, you really do. Oh, hey, do you have any bad habits I need to be concerned about? Oh, no, not much. Then she breaks the fucking bubble out of her purse and starts melting the meth down in it. Look, lady, I have kids and I have a CDL. You can't have that shit around my kid. It'll be fine.
No, it won't.
No.
Say that now, but it won't.
Do you have anything that I need to be concerned with? No, nothing at all. Can I stay a weekend? Oh, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, we're seeing each other. You can stay the weekend. Come home from work, and she's got 2 dicks in her mouth, one in her ass, one in her twat, and you're walking in going, what the fuck?
And you didn't have an invite.
And then she looks up and goes, well, I had to make a little extra money. No, Steve, no. Meth is not okay. Dude, everything that goes into meth is poison. You cannot mix poison with poison and expect it to not be poison.
It's not going to miraculously turn into water.
No. Or the ever famous, oh no, I'm really happy. I really like you. Can I get $40? For what? I'm out of panty liners. How about I just go pick them up? No, I really need the $40.
No.
I mean, that is literally what dating at this age really is. If they are single in their 40s, they have a fucking problem. Unfortunately, that's just facts. Oh, there you go, Steve. said that he had one tell him that his granddaughter needed tampons. And then on one hand, you want to give her the money just so you got an off chance of seeing her again. But on the other hand, you're like, fuck you, that's my money. So literally, I mean, dating in your 40s and your 50s, for the most part, is bullshit. And where a long dry spell in your 20s was like 3 weeks, a long dry spell in your 40s
It'd be
is
like months to a year.
Yeah. You better have enough Jergens stacked aside so you can make sure you're taken care of. I mean, that's all there is to it. And they will fuck with your head the whole way. And they do it for themselves, to make themselves feel better. They will fuck with you. And then the next thing you know, now you got lost 2/3 of your bank account, half of your shit. They're out the fucking door, and you're sitting there going, what the hell just happened? I don't know. I mean, I guess it's just been the most recent 3 or 4 years. I've gotten to a point now where I really question, who can I really trust?
Sorry, I had to take a phone call there.
I noticed.
Well, when the greatest American hero calls you, you answer.
Captain America.
My dad.
Oh.
Wow.
I always say if I was half as cool as he is, I'd be the second coolest person alive.
But you know what I'm saying? Again, it's like Irene says I need to get laid. Yeah, getting laid would be a great thing. I can't find a willing fucking participant.
You ain't trying. Or you're just being dumb about that no fucking on the first day rule.
Dude, I can't. I've grown up.
I mean, maybe you just need to get laid and then search for the permanent partner. No?
No, here's how bad it's really got. I could give a fuck less about getting laid. If I need to get laid that bad, I can go to the fucking happy ending Asian massage parlor and I'll get fucking laid. Okay? It's going to cost me $90. I'm going to come out of there with no herpes and complete fucking satisfaction. Literal fucking satisfaction. I'm in there for 2 hours. I come out. It's all said and done. I'm laid. I don't fucking care about getting laid. I don't have anybody Steve's right. I don't have anybody I can talk to.
That's called the girlfriend experience. It does cost a little bit extra. But I mean, if you're already paying $90, just go for the $150 and get the girlfriend experience.
It's not about that. I mean, I'm not going to talk about my fucking day to a stranger. I'm walking in there going, okay, hey, here's the $90. Adjust my back, get on my dick, bounce up and down for a little while, make yourself feel good, make me feel good. I'm going home. I mean, end of story. Getting laid is not the problem. Finding somebody I can sit down with at home and trust and have a fucking conversation with. There's the problem. And to be honest about it, I'm really beginning to wonder if that even exists.
Your best friend in the world at one time was a stranger. My wife at one time was a stranger. And she even said no stranger danger when I invited her and what is now my stepson to go meet Ozzy with me. I invited them to go, and Tyler's like, yeah, can we, Mom? Can we, Mom? And she looked at him and no stranger danger. 14 years later, here we are.
Stranger danger. Everyone needs to know Ozzy.
Exactly.
I mean, I can feel a stranger whenever I want to. I just got to sit on my hand for a while.
But that's what I'm saying. You know, parents always said don't talk to strangers, but everyone you meet at one point was a stranger. Talk to strange people. Walk up to a random person and, hey, how you doing? How's your day going? You never know where the conversation's going to go.
This fucking computer.
I mean, hell, half the fucking conversations we have, do you think they were really going to turn out that way when we started them?
Fuck no.
There you go. Go do it with random people. See who you meet.
I mean, and meeting people and sitting down and having a conversation is not that, again, that's not that. I'm not going to sit there with somebody I don't really know and just rip open everything inside and go, oh, hey, here you go. They're going to go, you're fucking psycho.
Maybe they don't deserve to hang with you anyway.
Right?
Now, the people who know me when I have when I have conversations like this, they're like, you need to go fuck your tailpipe or something, because Jesus Christ. Yeah, it's always that. It's always, everybody's got the same fucking answer all the time. All the time. Oh, you just need to get laid. No, it's not get laid. I can take care of that. That's not the problem. It's, you know,
he wants
and it's
companionship.
And I'm not going to get another dog because I had to put my dog down and that sucked. So you've got to, you know, just this whole fucking disaster.
Well, you do got Riley coming in a couple weeks.
And that'll help. That, you know, that takes a little bit of it off. And that helps. And how the hell can my fucking ex-wife of all people, this woman likes to get ridden more than Seattle Slew. How the fuck is she married again?
Maybe someone enjoyed fucking that. That's about all I got.
Because men are a little bit more gullible than women are.
There are some men out there that will do whatever a woman says, as long as the woman fucks it.
It's the power of the pussy. The power of the pussy.
Yeah, Irene, it happened within the last 12 months.
Can I sing that one on here?
But I mean, I'm like, God, you know, she's been married a year. She's already looking. Now, I have it on reliable authority that she's already trying to figure out how to cheat on him. But I mean, really? I don't know what to do. I literally, I get up, I go to work, I come home, and I'm just existing. When I ask friends to help, or I try to get together with friends, something throws a monkey wrench in it. But then I'm hung out, you know? But when they need me, I'll drop what I've got going on and I'll go help them out.
Hey, you got a big barbecue cook-off coming up. Go meet new friends.
Well, I've got good friends. I mean, our barbecue team's a lot of fun to be around. And those guys, I know I could say, hey, I need help out here at the property, and they'd be here. But I don't like doing that because, they don't. The friend that I asked to come down and help out, actually, I've helped out a lot. So it's kind of like hey, I'd like a little bit of reciprocation. Didn't fly. I'm pretty much hung out on my own to figure it the fuck out, right? My friends, the barbecue team, hey, we're going to drop a tree and burn some shit. They'd be out here with prickly pear torches ready to go. I mean, we're talking trees are dropped, everything's sectioned out. What we're going to dry for cooking is getting dried, and everything else is getting hit with flamethrowers.
Fuck yeah.
And I mean, we'll sit out here and drink and party and have a good time. But I've got to let them know in enough advance time that they can make sure to be here to do that. And they would. No question. Okay. I was supposed to go with a few of them Friday over to one of my favorite bars in Llano to go hang out, have a couple of drinks, and ask some questions. And I got held up at work so fucking late that there was no way to get over there in enough time and do anything. And then when I pulled back in the driveway to get changed to go, oh, my uncle's here. Oh, we're working around the property. So I got completely pulled away from that, and I didn't even get to go at all. Hey, I've got a review from the Fat Ass 5K. Chris, you remember the Fat Ass 5K, right? So Steve says that the barbecue sucked at the Fat Ass 5K yesterday. The bacon was good. The donuts were awesome, and free Blue Moon and water. I mean, Coors Light.
Nice.
And I mean, Irene, yeah, maybe a proper vacation is a good idea, except for one problem. When do I get the time to do that? The time I take off, as far as vacation time goes, I take it off for transporting Riley. Oh, and there was water too. Well, yeah, you did have water, Steve. It was called Coors Light. But I mean, that's just it. The time I take off for a vacation, I take off to go see my kid or to do things for my kids. I don't get that time for me. Right? Christmas break will be coming up this year, and I plan on going up to Illinois to go see my son for Christmas. But then I'm going to come back. Then I'm going to have a bunch of shit to do around here for the rest of Christmas break, and then it's back to work. Then a couple months later, spring break will roll around. Well, I don't know what I'm doing this year for spring break, but I'll tell you what, I'm not getting trapped up in a lake and a cabin where I can't leave.
Huh? What happened?
Oh, dude, that's another whole story altogether. And I'm not saying that it was bad or good or indifferent or anything else. I'm just saying I don't like feeling like I'm stuck. I made the mistake of taking a trip without taking my car. That long and the short of it. Without taking my car, without taking my bike. So I was dependent on anybody else to be able to leave. And I should not have done that. I should have taken my vehicle.
Always have an exit strategy.
Exactly. Yep. I should have taken one of my vehicles so I had a way to get out of there if I wanted to leave. And I didn't do it. And that was truly my biggest mistake with that trip. Otherwise, I would have had a great time.
Hey, that's why I say when I go on a work road trip, I'm driving.
Yeah.
It's a company truck. I'm driving.
Well, it's not even, and everybody's like, oh, that's a control thing. You have to give up the control. In a way, yes. In a way, no. It's also a fucking freedom thing. I want to be
Yeah,
able to go and do things that I like to do too.
that's
Right,
a
yeah.
safety thing. If you need to get out of there because someone else is a psychopath or
Right.
something, that keeps you safe.
But I mean, all right. So let's look at some of the things that I like to do. I like to fish. I like to hunt. I like to ride my motorcycle. I like to go golfing. There are a lot of different things I like to do. Well, I'm up there without my vehicle, so I have no fishing pole, none of my fishing gear. I have one lawn chair that's mine. I don't have my golf clubs. I have no way to leave. I have no way to do the things that I like to do. I'm stuck. And when it comes right down to that, it don't work. So when I look at that trip, was it a bad trip all in all? Yes and no. I ended up stuck where I could not do anything. And then I started getting inside of my own head, and I started getting inside of my own emotions. Then I start getting into my own depression, and I can't get away to go do something that I like to do to go get my fucking mind off of it. And then I get informed that it's my problem. Well, look, I already built a whole new Mar-a-Lago with my name on it in my mind, and it did not fucking help.
It's not necessarily a control thing. There's a lot of people that are like that. I'm like that. I like having my vehicle. I like having an exit strategy if I go
Yeah.
somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't like feeling like I'm trapped. And that week, I'm going to be very brutally honest about it. The week of spring break, by the time Friday rolled around, because of everything that had been going on, I was ready to come home. And I ended up staying until Sunday morning, going back to work Monday, losing all of that spring break and not doing anything that I like to do, but spending a lot of money for the food. And I do mean a lot of money. And like I said, at the end of the day, that sucked. And then it rained half of the time. Okay, yeah, we were in a cabin, but I mean, if it's raining and you're stuck in an outdoors environment, you're in a cabin, and really all you're doing is huddling up trying to stay warm and watching shit on fucking Netflix or whatever on a tablet, go home. I could do that at home and do it more comfortably. Time to go home. I mean, does that make sense?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the long and the short of it is there are a lot of reasons that, the excrement just pretty much hits the air conditioning all the way out. I agreed to go up there without my vehicle, which was my first fucking mistake. I should have taken my car.
Yeah.
I have been I have been struggling to get myself back together since I got back from that trip, and I'm still not all the way there. Not to mention there were a lot of other things that are very personal that I'm not going to talk about that I was angry about at the end of that trip. But I mean, the long and the short of it is, it wasn't that great of a trip.
Yeah, what was supposed to be a fun, relaxing trip was anything but.
Yeah, it turned into me dog sitting. I was completely ripped apart. So, I mean, we're coming up on 2 hours, and it's been basically me unloading about mental health for the last 2 hours. And I'm sorry that I did this to you guys. You didn't, it may not have been as entertaining of a show as normal, but it's something that needs to be addressed, because if you have friends that are stuck in this position and you know who they are, reach out, talk to them, let them know that you're there. Let them know you give a damn. Let them know that you're taking a shot of Malort and smoking a bowl in their honor. I mean, whatever. But do something, because let's be honest. You never know when reaching out like that is going to be the difference you having that friend or not having that friend. And if you're not a true friend like you claim to be, and you're only there to just take from whoever you're around, I got to be honest with you. You're probably missing out on somebody that could have been real beneficial and had your back in more ways than one. And that's tough. You're going to miss out on something good, something that could have been real special. With that being said, Adam the Turd Farmer, your final thoughts.
My final thought is actually a reiteration of what I said earlier. I would rather hear you vent than hear your obituary. Anytime, I don't care if it's the middle of the night, early in the morning, I don't care. Call. So I'd rather hear your voice vent or tell me what's going on than to hear about your funeral. That's all there is to it.
Chronic Chris.
Shoot. Sorry, I've been sitting here for the last hour. TJ started talking about going for a motorcycle ride, and I've been thinking, man, I really need to go up to Iowa and just get my bike.
For a second, I thought you just said gooch.
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because it's a form of therapy.
It is.
And with today's discussion, I'm going to say there's many forms of therapy. Whether it be you ride your bike, whether you go fishing, hunting, getting a tattoo. It seriously are forms of therapy. Find your therapy. Find what you love and focus that around your life. Me personally, I love music. So what did I do? I found a radio station that'll let me do whatever I want and enjoy it.
And most popular tattoo, my guess, is mom.
Surprisingly, no.
No.
Among men over the age of 35 years old, the most popular tattoo in the world for that specific percentile of people is the Harley Davidson shield.
No shit.
Yep.
Okay, I can see that.
Okay.
With that being said, support live, local, independent music, and
Harley
enjoy your
Davidson.
happy. And if anyone wants to take me up to Iowa with a truck and trailer to go get my bike and get it back to Kentucky so I can fix it and then ride it,
Chris would be much appreciative.
I would. I know you.
I guess my final thoughts tonight is to evaluate yourself. Take the time and evaluate yourself and look at the people that you have around you. And when you're in that self-evaluation, Are you a friend that's there for them, or are you a friend, or are you a friend that is there for you? And if you're one of them that's there for you, ask yourself how much damage you're doing to that friend. And should it matter? And if you think it don't, then the day that friend of yours that you said was a friend and you took whatever you wanted to take away from them, the day that person takes their own life, then that blood is on your hands. And that's something that you should definitely keep in mind, because friendship should not be self-centered.
It should be supportive.
That should be supportive, and you should be there for each other.
Supportive, helpful, encouraging.
And if it's even, it's even worse if that's a partner. Romantic, sexual, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
These people come in and out of our lives, and we need to think about that and keep that in consideration. But the day that you can evaluate and go, well, these people are in my life for me, and I don't have to reciprocate that, that's the day you really need to look at who you are. Yes, I'm currently having some struggles. I'm doing what I can to get through them. They are not easy. But I will come out. I always do. So in the meantime, everybody, I'm sorry we had a little bit of a darker and a more serious show. But again, happy Mother's Day to all of you mothers out there. And I hope you guys are having a great day. You are the start of mental health for your children. So make it a good one. In the meantime, take care. We will see all of you next Sunday right here on Mayhem's Amigos. Good night.